Take a look at this photo right here. Look at that photo from his phone that the government prosecutors claim show lines of cocaine. That's what the government prosecutors are saying. They're saying that's sawdust. Take a good look at the sawdust that lined up in perfect little lines. Take a close look. Does that look like sawdust to you?
Kinda. Yeah, kinda. It kind of looks like sawdust, actually, a little bit. Now, if it's not clear what's going on there, I apologize for briefly having you have to try to keep up with the madness that is Sean Hannity's show. And in particular, his desperate, flailing, cringy effort to keep the Biden impeachment alive. So he's saying that this photo, which is a part of the Hunter Biden thing, the Hunter Biden defenders are saying that it's actually sawdust. So that's the picture again. And here are some inconvenient facts for Sean Hannity that are indisputable. That right there is sawdust, you can see in this next photo, because that right there is a table saw, which produces sawdust, conveniently located inside of a wood shop, because it was sent by a professional woodworker. And this right here is a moron, okay? This right here is a hack, partisan moron, pretending to not know the difference between sawdust and cocaine. Has he literally never seen woodworking equipment before? That could not more be a table saw if it tried, and it's not capable of trying because it's not a person, it's a table saw. That is big grained yellow dust. It looks nothing like cocaine, and I don't believe for a second that Sean Hannity doesn't know what cocaine looks like. He's definitely hung out with Don Jr. The whole thing is ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous in one additional way, which we're gonna get to. But Sharon, looking at that photo, can you imagine, you're a newscaster, you're doing a show where you have to pretend to not know what that is. That's your job.
It's so stupid. It's just nutty. And by the way, he's been, I'm sure, given the age to Studio 54, he knows what Coke looks like. It does not look like that. I would be more suspicious if there were no sawdust there, okay? Because it's a wood shop, there's materials around, you showed us a picture, you painted the scene. I'd be more concerned if it was swept clean. And that's probably what they would say. It'd be a different conspiracy that they got rid of all the Coke. And yeah, so come on, at least make it good. At least make the theater worth watching. This wasn't worth it.
Because he can go on TV and be like, look at this photo. They're saying that's sawdust. But everyone at home is looking at that.
Like sawdust.
What are they? Are they saying, yeah, Sean, that's cocaine. That's what it looked. What are you talking about? You can't possibly believe that. And Ukami is adding the context that cartels cut cocaine with sawdust. Not to that extent. If you got a bag of cocaine cut with 100% sawdust, you're gonna return it for a full refund. Actually, it's a cartel. I don't think they have a very lenient return policy. Yes. But anyway, look, maybe while he has hung out with Don Jr. and thus obviously knows what cocaine looks like, whether it's cut in narrow lines or it's under a fail son's nose, he also probably has hung out with Tucker Carlson. We've all seen his wood shop that he's literally never built anything in. But you're 100% right. I had woodworking equipment in my garage. And from the first time I made a piece of furniture, everything I owned was covered with sawdust for the rest of my life. That's how it works. Anyway, I did tell you that this is ridiculous in an additional way, and it is. So that photo from what Sean Hannity is saying is damning of Hunter Biden because it's cocaine. Okay, let's pretend it is cocaine. That proves that Hunter Biden did cocaine, and thus obviously Joe Biden gets impeached. Now, I don't understand the chain of logic there, but there is an additional hole in his logic, which is that while that photo is part of the prosecution, Hunter Biden didn't take the photo, nor did he send the photo. He was sent the photo by a different person who is an expert carpenter, which is the sort of contextual fact that one would think a journalist would think about when evaluating if something is cocaine or sawdust. It was just sent to him. That's it. Apparently, okay, this carpenter who's in recovery from cocaine addiction himself, so separate issue for that guy, but again, it's not cocaine, set up the gag shot. So he set up the lines of sawdust and sent it to Biden's then psychiatrist, Dr. Keith Ablow, who that name rings a bell, actually. I'm gonna need to look up who that guy is. I think he might have been on Fox News himself. But anyway, the doctor sent it on to Biden, telling him he'd told the carpenter he'd have to choose between his art and his drug. Quote, he sent me the photo and a message that said, made my choice, Ablow wrote, quote, hope you do too. The message was meant to inspire Biden, his lawyers wrote, letting him know that he too could overcome any addiction. Okay, and Hunter's attorneys said, mistaking sawdust for cocaine sounds more like a storyline from one of the 1980s Police Academy comedies than what should be expected in a high-profile prosecution by the US Department of Justice. 100%. It's on the level of like Dwight on The Office being like spending money for caprese salad that he thinks is marijuana. And this isn't Dwight, this is a journalist who has millions of viewers a day, Sharon.
I love The Office. I love that show, but it is so ridiculous that it can't be real life, can it? This is real life. This is, look at your life, America. Is this what we're doing?
These aren't people. In Fox, they're not like actual people with functioning brains who look at things, hear things, then think about things, and then say things. This is, because I do, you know, I often would say something like the same job as Sean Hannity. It's the exact same thing. He's not a journalist. He's not doing anything fancier, more lofty than what I do. It's a very easy position. It has very few standards. But one standard that should exist is that you're at least a little bit honest about what you really think about what is going on. And none of them do that. Sean Hannity lying about the things that he sees, Laura Ingraham just ignoring the blatant lies being told to her. This is who they are.